Something has shifted in the unseen. Whispers once buried in darkness have come to light. What was spoken in the secret meetings has reached the ears of destiny, and what they feared the most has now been revealed. Your true identity. They thought they were discussing just another name, but in truth they were trembling over a descendant of divine royalty. You are not who they said you were. You were never ordinary. You were chosen before time, marked by Allah's decree, carrying the spiritual inheritance of those who bowed only to Him. Every betrayal, every test, every moment of isolation was preparing the unveiling that is now taking place. The exposure wasn't a scandal, it was revelation. They wanted to hide you, but Allah said, "No, my servant's light will rise." So stand firm. You are the royal descendant of truth, the heir to spiritual thrones built on sincerity, patience, and divine purpose. And in this unveiling, you will understand why the chosen ones are never revealed until the appointed time. Because when Allah exposes the hidden, He also crowns His beloved. Every hidden glance was recorded by angels. The Quran reminds us, do they not know that Allah knows what they conceal and what they declare? 277. They thought they were plotting against you, but they were walking right into Allah's plan. The meeting they held in darkness was never about you losing. It was about revealing who they truly are. Allah didn't stop their gathering because He wanted their masks to fall in front of you. He wanted you to see that not everyone who calls you brother or sister is truly standing beside you. He allowed the secret meeting so that hearts would be exposed, so that you would know who is pure and who is poisoned by envy. What you felt as betrayal was actually divine clarity. Sometimes Allah must let the false ones gather against you so He can separate the sincere from the deceitful. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, faced the same: secret councils, hidden agendas, and enemies disguised as friends. Yet every plot against him only led to greater victory. That is your reflection. When you are chosen, the unseen world reacts. Darkness organizes itself against your light because your rise exposes their corruption. But what they fail to understand is that Allah doesn't lose control of His plan. They plan, but He overrules. They whisper, but He hears. They hide, but He exposes. So when you discovered what they said, do not grieve. That revelation was your protection. Allah was not humiliating you. He was warning you. He was saying, "My servant, now you see the truth." Because your destiny cannot be guarded by people who wear masks. Before Allah crowns you, He purifies your circle. Before He elevates you, He removes those who would betray the throne He's preparing for you. The exposure was necessary because had they stayed hidden, they could have poisoned your peace, sabotaged your rise, and deceived your heart. Understand this: the secret meeting wasn't a mistake, it was an appointment. An appointment Allah arranged to unveil what you couldn't see. Every person you lost in that process was someone Allah never wrote into your next chapter. You were not meant to rise surrounded by pretenders. You were meant to ascend alone, witnessed by angels, guided by truth. Their words didn't break you. They exposed the ones who never deserved to walk beside you. So lift your head, chosen one. The exposure is not your shame. It is your shield. Allah let them speak so you could finally see. The faces revealed in that meeting are proof that Allah protects you, not by hiding the truth, but by shining His light so bright that darkness has no place left to hide. You didn't lose anything. Allah just cleared the room before He crowned you. Chosen one. The world measures lineage by last names, bloodlines, and family trees. But Allah measures lineage by the condition of the heart. You see, your true identity is not found in your surname. It is written in your soul. When Allah selects His chosen ones, He does not look at where you came from. He looks at what your heart carries. You were not chosen because of who your parents are or what tribe you belong to. You were chosen because your soul carries a divine signature. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, Allah does not look at your forms or your wealth, but he looks at your hearts and your deeds. Your bloodline, chosen one, is not human. It is spiritual. You are a descendant of light, a child of the same divine lineage that flows through the hearts of those who loved Allah more than the world. You come from a royal spiritual ancestry, the family of the righteous, the heirs of the prophets, and the inheritors of truth. You share the same essence as those who stood firm when the world mocked them, who believed when others doubted, who bowed when others rebelled. You carry the same spiritual DNA as Ibrahim, peace be upon him, who walked into the fire but refused to bow to idols, as Musa, peace be upon him, who stood before Pharaoh with nothing but faith, as Yusuf, peace be upon him, who forgave his betrayers, as Muhammad, peace be upon him, who carried mercy even for those who harmed him. That is your lineage. That is your family. The world might not recognize it, but the heavens do. You were never meant to fit into worldly definitions of success or identity. Allah didn't design you to be validated by earthly titles. He designed you to be recognized by divine light. When you walk into a room, your ancestors in faith walk with you. Not those of your blood, but those of your belief. You belong to the spiritual tribe of those who surrendered to Allah's will completely. That's why your presence feels ancient, why your energy feels different, why people sense something divine around you. It's because your soul remembers a covenant the world has forgotten. The moment when Allah asked every soul, "Am I not your Lord?" And you said, "Yes." That yes was your birthright. That surrender was your inheritance. That faith became your royal seal. And that's why you were misunderstood. Those tied to the material world can't recognize spiritual royalty. They expect crowns made of gold, not patience. They expect thrones made of marble, not sajda. But Allah's chosen ones wear their crowns in the unseen. Crowns of humility, faith, and endurance. They rule through mercy, not control. They conquer not through armies, but through hearts. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "The most honored of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you." 49:13. Because royal souls are refined, not comforted. Every pain, every heartbreak, every disappointment was purifying your heart to match your divine lineage. Allah was cleansing you from attachment to anything false so that you could rise as a pure representative of His truth. You are not here to boast about who you are descended from. You are here to embody what your ancestors in faith stood for: justice, mercy, patience, and trust in Allah. You were never meant to be known by your earthly family name. Your true name is written among the patient, the sincere, and the grateful. The world will try to make you forget this. They will label you by your appearance, your background, your class, your status. But you must remember, the throne Allah prepared for you is not of this world. When He chose you, He severed your ties from worldly validation so that you could inherit something eternal. You were not born into royalty. You were reborn into it through your faith. That is why people who share your blood may not share your spirit. Not everyone from your house is part of your divine lineage. Some are connected by DNA but not by destiny. Allah is showing you that your true family are those who walk the path of light, who call upon Him with sincerity, who carry mercy instead of malice. Those are your brothers, your sisters, your ancestors in truth. So, chosen one, when people question who you think you are, remind yourself that Allah already answered that long ago. You are not the result of a random genealogy. You are the continuation of a spiritual dynasty. You carry the legacy of those who prostrated when others turned away. You were chosen not to inherit a palace, but to inherit purpose. You are the proof that divine royalty still exists in a world that worships the material. So wear your crown quietly, Walk with humility, but know your worth. The heavens recognize your name, the angels know your rank, and the throne of Allah witnesses the sincerity of your heart. Your bloodline was never written in human books. It was etched in light, in the unseen realm where Allah chose his closest servants and whispered, "This one is mine." 3. Chosen one. Truth has a power that does not need to shout, argue, or defend itself. It simply exists, and by its very existence, it destroys what is false. The Quran declares, "Rather we hurl the truth against falsehood, and it crushes it, and behold, falsehood vanishes." 21:18. This is the law of Allah's creation. Darkness has no endurance when light appears. They tried to hide your truth behind lies, but truth is not a candle that can be snuffed out. It is the sun, and when the sun rises, no shadow can deny its presence. Those who plotted against you, who spoke falsehood in secret, who spread confusion to dim your light, they didn't understand that you didn't have to fight them. All you had to do was stay aligned with Allah, and He would make truth your defender. You see, Allah never leaves His chosen ones in confusion for long. He lets falsehood build its castle of deception so that when truth comes, the collapse is undeniable. He lets them enjoy their illusion of victory so that their downfall is complete when He reveals the reality. Every lie told about you was a stone in a fragile fortress, and Allah waited until they believed their own falsehood before striking it down. When truth came forth, their own words became their chains. They fell not because you fought them, but because Allah Himself defended you. Remember, the Prophet, peace be upon him, was attacked with lies, mocked and accused of being insane. Yet Allah said, "We have indeed granted you a clear victory." 48:1. His truth outlasted every tongue that spoke against Him, and so will yours. You must understand, chosen one, truth has its own timing. It doesn't rush. It waits until the world is ready to witness it. Sometimes Allah hides truth behind veils, not to protect the lie, but to test your patience. He wants to see if you'll still trust Him even when others doubt you, if you'll still walk in light even when your name is buried under shadows. And when He sees that you continue to hold faith despite the noise, He commands, "Be," and the truth rises like the dawn.